What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys today, starting off with Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, as Sami Mokbel says that after positive contacts with Atleti, the expectation is Hojbjerg is likely to make the switch from Tottenham to Atletico Madrid in the coming weeks. Douglas Luiz and Conor Gallagher are viewed as the potential replacements as things stand. Chelsea would be reluctant to sell potential Spurs target Gallagher, but things could change if they can land Moises Caicedo, which I do imagine them to do in the coming week or so. So what do you make out of the Hojbjerg news, and what do you think of Luiz or Conor Gallagher?
I think it's a bit interesting if we replace Hojbjerg with Gallagher, because I would see, obviously, Gallagher was more of a number 8, and what I thought Ange would have seen Hojbjerg as more of a number 8, he clearly sees him more of a number 6 based on what we saw in the first friendly, and I thought he would see Skip as more of a number 6, and he played him in the 8. So if we were to sell Hojbjerg and bring in Gallagher, would that leave a lack of depth in the number 6 position, considering what Ange considers a number 6? And I think there's a conversation to be had there about what kind of midfielder, because I think Douglas Luiz, what we're talking about, he's definitely more of a number 6 than a number 8, I would say. He's definitely more of a sitting midfielder. So if we were to bring him in a replacement for Hojbjerg, that would make more sense. But he would obviously be very, very expensive, because I think he starts for Aston Villa right now, and they would probably consider us rivals. They've got no incentive to sell to Spurs right now. So I think the decision to cash in Hojbjerg is probably correct, but in terms of replacing him with Gallagher, I'm not 100% sure on. If that's how, if Ange sees, because I thought Ange was going to see Hojbjerg as 8, but he clearly doesn't.
But it is only one game of pre-season, though. I mean, I don't think we can. I think you can read tiny bits into it, but I don't think we should be over-analysing the where the players played in midfield and where Ange sees them in, because I don't think we can get into Ange's head just yet and know where he figures out where each player is specifically going to play. And I think that time will tell over the next couple of pre-seasons if he sees Skip as an 8 or a 6, or Hojbjerg as an 8 or a 6. But I don't know. I would just. I get that, but I would just reserve like the full judgment until we see a bit more.
But if it is the fact that he does see Hojbjerg as a 6, and I actually thought he did all right, to be fair, in that position. But if he does see Hojbjerg as a number 6, then surely he's got to replace him with a similar player.
Yeah, you would think so. But I mean, it seems as though like we haven't made our mind up of who wants to play where, because you're talking about getting rid of Hojbjerg and you're talking about very different players with very different skill sets potentially coming in. So that tells me that minds aren't made up just yet.
That's true.
I don't really know which way to look at this, to be honest.
I also think Douglas Luiz would probably be more expensive than Hojbjerg. How much we would get for Hojbjerg? So
didn't he just sign a new contract, Douglas Luiz?
Last year he
on the
did.
back of the Arsenal stuff last summer.
Regardless, I think he's going to be more expensive than, I think what they would charge is probably more than what we would get for Hojbjerg, or very similar amounts.
This might score a few direct corners if he goes in.
It's not bad. Yeah, I will take that corner specificity, as Sean says. I'll take that for sure, but I think it'd be way too expensive for a potential backup role to Basuma, potentially.
Out of the two, who are you preferring, Luiz or Conor, for what Spurs need and where we would go without Hojbjerg?
I think the midfield needs more of a Conor than a.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. But let's move on. Let's talk about another potential replacement for Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, and that is Gabri Veiga of Celta Vigo. As Sami Mokbel says that Veiga has admirers at Tottenham, another name that could come into the spotlight if Hojbjerg was to depart the club. But the fact David Luiz and Conor Gallagher may have extensive Premier League experience is likely to attract Spurs. Paul O'Keefe also says that Gabri Veiga is one of the names noted at Tottenham in case of Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg departs. No relation to Ramon Veiga, by the way.
Spelt differently. I think he's definitely a different player to Hojbjerg. He's definitely a number 8. I don't think there's any confusion about his position. He's definitely more of an attacking player as well. He doesn't seem to be a player who has very strong defensive numbers.
I actually thought he was more of a number 10 though when I first looked into him.
Yeah, he is, but obviously we don't play really with a number 10, we play with 2 8s, but clearly we see him in that position. Maybe we see him as a backup to Maddison. So I can't see how we can replace Hojbjerg with him really, unless we've got very different plans for our midfield and we see maybe Sarr and Skip, or even when Bentancur comes back as a different role to what I'm thinking. But I'm more than happy to bring him in 100% because I think he adds technical ability and he adds a bit of flair to that midfield and a bit of offensive quality, which I think is probably needed, unless especially if we're looking to sell one of Lo Celso and Ndombele, or maybe even both. But if, again, I don't want to leave ourselves too short defensively either. But I'd be happy to bring him in. He looks good.
I think this guy would be an absolute steal, and I got a feeling that in a couple of years this guy's going to get a move to a really big club. So I'd love to get in there and get ahead of the competition before that does happen. He was heavily linked with Real Madrid before they went for Arda Güler, so that tells you where he's kind of at and how valued he is in La Liga. So I think, like, regardless of selling Hojbjerg or whatever, I think we should bring this guy in anyway, just to get a march ahead of the competition, to be honest.
And this is what I talk about when I say you're paying an English premium for someone like Gallagher, because Gallagher would probably be more expensive than he is, and yeah, he's probably a much higher quality, but well, not much higher, but he's probably definitely a player with a higher ceiling than Gallagher.
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk about those defenders once again.
Come on.
Edmund Tapsoba and Mickey van der Ven. Has there been a new update? I'll let you be the judge of that. As Ali Gold says, Tottenham look to sign 2 senior centre-backs. They remain in talks for both Mickey van der Ven and Edmund Tapsoba. Depending on departures, a move for both is yet to be ruled out entirely.
Let's just keep talking. I know no point in signing anyone. Let's just talk.
Literally, since for the last month, I think it's been the same exact update on these 2 players every single time.
Levy loves the chat. He loves he loves it too much. He doesn't like signing people. He just likes the conversation. He likes the negotiation. I think that's where we should just live in those talks.
He loves just chatting people up. He never makes his move.
No,
never makes his move.
Talking. In terms of like the conversation about whether we get both or only one, obviously it does seem likely we're only going to get one. But the reason why I still hold out a bit of hope that it might be both is why, if we are certain about getting both, why haven't we made a move for that cheaper centre back like a Tosin or something? Why haven't we made that move yet? If we're only looking, if it's guaranteed we're only going to get one of them, right? Why haven't we made because we clearly need centre backs, right? And we clearly need 2. So why haven't we made the move for the cheaper one if it's guaranteed we're only going to get one of those? So that makes me feel like it's not guaranteed we're only going to get one. There maybe is a slight chance we do move for 2. But just by that fact.
I don't know. I think the fact that we haven't hit the button on Van der Ven just yet, I think that Tapsoba is the number 1 target and they want to get him over a Van der Ven. And then if there is money left over, then we potentially go for the Van der Ven.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, so there is still a chance we might get 2.
I mean, that's what people are saying. There is a chance, but I think if it's one or the other, they want to go for a Tapsoba, and that's the one which is harder to negotiate for now than a Van der Ven.
That's what I'm saying. So I think the fact that we haven't made a move for an even cheaper one than those 2 just yet makes me think like there is still a chance we could get both of them.
Yeah,
but we'll have to wait and see.
I still think it's unlikely, but we'll see.
Yeah. But still, whenever there's hope, that's what the hope that kills you. There's
always the hope that kills you. But I'll tell you what may be more positive is Ange's words when he was talking about signing a centre-back. He was so open, and it's so refreshing to see. He was basically saying that we've been working on it for a while, it's going to get done, and hopefully it'll get done very soon. So I'm sure he was talking about these players when he was talking about that.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he isn't.
Yeah. Let's talk about a player that we have actually signed in Ashley Phillips. Matt Barlow says that Ashley Phillips underwent his medical at Hotspur Way on Wednesday and will join Postecoglou's squad for the latter stages of Tottenham's pre-season tour in Australia and Southeast Asia if all goes to plan. So that medical was done yesterday, apparently.
Good stuff. Let's get him acclimatised as soon as possible. Maybe a loan deal for next season. Get him some minutes. I don't know if I want him as part of the development squad. At 18, he was already starting to play a few games for Blackburn. So
they're saying he's going out to join the first team, and you're looking at players that are part of the development squad, and Alfie Dorrington and all them. They're still at home. They played in the Enfield friendly a couple of nights ago. So that probably tells you that he's further along the line than that.
Yeah. So, but I'm just saying, I hope we don't keep him part of the development squad. I hope we send him out on loan and give him some more experience.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, this is an interesting one. Miguel Delaney claiming that if Spurs should sell Kane, the idea would be to reshape the attack amid Postecoglou's fluid new style rather than directly replace the forward that is seen virtually impossible. Flamengo forward Pedro is among several options Tottenham are considering to refine the attack if Kane leaves. I mean, I've never heard of this guy before yesterday when this news broke, to be honest, but I don't know. I don't really get this one.
I know he was in the World Cup squad. I remember he got very limited minutes. I know I wasn't very impressed when I saw him, but I don't know what he's like for Flamengo. I can see his goal scoring record's pretty decent in the Brazilian league. It's not like outstanding, but it's like 1 in 2. It's pretty good for a striker. So I know as well that he had a failed stint at Fiorentina a few years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he had 4 appearances, no goals, and he kind of got shipped back to Brazil. And they didn't really like him, but apparently now he's seen as more ready as he was back then for a European move. So I guess it's about, I don't really know, to be honest, about his style of play, what kind of striker he is. I have to do a bit of look into a bit more for if it ever comes to pass that we actually are interested in him. But from what I gather, people on Twitter aren't too excited about the prospect of him. That's what I understand, but I don't know too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Twitter says he's rubbish, he must be rubbish. Exactly.
Well, what's FM saying? That's more to the point.
That's a great question. I'll look into it.
And let's finish off talking about Yves Bissouma. Ali Gold says that Ange has been repeatedly telling Bissouma what an important player he will be for him and encouraging him to lead by example with the young players. Postecoglou has big plans for the Tottenham midfielder and has been building him up behind the scenes. And we've got some quotes from Bissouma himself, and he says, talking on the manager, he says he gives us confidence. He's like a dad, uncle, friend for us. So we're so happy to be with him and we're trying to do what he wants. He's good with us. He gives us confidence. He comes to his players and talks to us all. And that's really important in the changing room when the gaffer comes and speaks to his players. That means everything. You know how we have to do it. So I think there's a lot building up with Yves Bissouma this summer. There really is. You're seeing all the kind of media in the changing rooms and on the tour all surrounding Yves Bissouma. I don't know if you've seen the diary room chats with Maddison, Destiny Adoji and Skip, I think it is. They've all mentioned Yves Bissouma as well in those chats on the Spurs social media. So there's a lot going around with Yves Bissouma. And when Postecoglou is saying stuff like he wants him to be a leader within the team, do you reckon he could be talking about him as a potential captain one day?
Maybe. I think clearly what we're seeing with Bissouma off the pitch is definitely spilling over to on the pitch with the confidence he showed in his first display under Ange. The fact that he's the one trusted as that number 6 in that kind of in that position, which you need to have a lot of responsibility and leadership in that kind of position as well, because you're going to get a lot of passes in dangerous positions. You're going to be ordering a lot of people around in terms of positioning and stuff like that. So the fact that he's trusted Bissouma definitely is an indication that he definitely sees him in a leadership role. And clearly he's a player who brings a lot of the players together. We've definitely noticed it in a lot of the videos that he's the kind of player who's kind of the link between socially between bringing a lot of his teammates and together and like becoming friends and things like that, bringing everyone closer. Everyone seems to love him. So maybe he is someone who could be a future captain of this team. And he hasn't really been considered a leader, I guess mostly because he's not been here that long and he didn't get much game time last season. But definitely we're seeing a new Bissouma already on and off the pitch. And if he continues like this, I don't see any reason why he can't be seen as a leader in that dressing room.
Hypothetical, if Kane does leave this summer, are you naming Yves Bissouma as your captain?
No, I don't know. It's too early for that. I'd name Son, to be honest. Son would be my captain. And
then probably when Son goes in a year or two, Yves Bissouma can probably take it over there.
Maybe. I don't know. It's too early to say.
I think I would actually, if I'm looking at the midfielders, out of all of them, I'd actually probably put Bentancur over Bissouma right now as a leader and as a captain. But I have to wait and see what Ange likes to say about the leadership thing. But I'm liking that he's putting a lot of faith and a lot of trust in Yves Bissouma right now. Because how excited were we when we signed him a year ago from Brighton? And the shackles were on him from Antonio Conte. Now the shackles are off. He seems like he has just a complete new lease of life, and I'm loving every second of it, to be honest. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all of the news stories today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.